can get my people in here. How are you doing today? Hopefully, it's an amazing day. Here we go. I had a pretty good night last night, so I feel like today started off amazing, right? Okay. Discord. For those of you who are wondering, if you watch the replays, which I know not a lot of people watch the replays because I check the analytics and there's just not a lot of people who are watching live replays on YouTube, and that's fine. I get it. It's boring. You're waiting for people to show up and I haven't started talking yet. But if you're wondering where it is that I go to share the link when I say I'm sharing the link with my community so that they can get in here, that is to my Discord group, which is at whowantsToWriteABook.com. It's a free group. You come on in. Once you verify your account, you get tagged as a writer inside the group. That's just what I'm calling my members because y'all are writers. And then I go in and I let you know whenever I'm live, either here or on TikTok. That's all. And I just wrote TikTok instead of YouTube. Oof. Good morning, good morning. Hello, Dale. Hello, Alex. Hello, Brizzo. Come on. Yes. Is he back? Ow! Jesus. Okay. Good morning, Farah. How are you? All right. Lay down. Is he back? I thought y'all chased him out. Like, hey, this is not a place to be fishing for clients. Get out. Jerk. Commercials. Hello, Erica. How are you? Ads, YouTube. Yeah, I'm sorry. YouTube is trying to place ads on everything. So is TikTok. Although at least TikTok doesn't interrupt a live stream for it. But yeah, he is back, and Connie and I had a long conversation yesterday. Connie and I had a conversation yesterday too. Gotta pay the bills, right? Yeah. YouTube's gotta keep it going. Are they at least like relevant ads? They're not showing like something weird, are they? I mean, it's going to be different for each person because of the way that they target things, but like, I want to talk to Connie. Connie is Dale. So. Look how popular you are, Connie, right? She's right in the middle of it all. Toomey and Christmas stuff. Ah, okay. What'd you do? You keep talking to that guy and having conversations with people. Before all the questions come in, oh, no, that was good. Okay. I want to, is it this one? Yeah. Y'all, hang on. Let me print this. Let me not print. There it is. Like, I could have sworn I had a print feature. All right, print. Good morning, Natalie. Yeah, you're just talking to everybody. Seisha, good morning, Seisha. Listening while you work. All right. Yay. That's the point, is to be talking to everyone. Yes. Yes, it is. You are absolutely right. And also, kick the guy out, Alex. Who is he? I'll go boot him. Do you want me to ban him? How disruptive is he being? FYI, for anyone else who's wondering, there is a... Is he a troll? I don't think he's a trolling. He's just... So there's another ghostwriter who has joined the Discord server semi-recently, sometime within the past couple of months. And he keeps going in there, and instead of talking to people, he gets them to, like, he keeps trying to get them to hire him. So people will ask a question like, how do I do this? And he's like, hey, you can do that by hiring me. Boot him. You have a Zoom call at noon? Okay. Erica is who I was telling you about earlier. Meet Naomi, literally one of my most favorite people. Natalie, I love you so much. It's not disruptive, just trying to harvest. Okay. In that case, what if we just started deleting his... We can just start deleting his comments. And then if that doesn't work, if he starts DMing people or something, we just ban him. Tell him to go learn how to market. Because that's not it. You know exactly who. Shake my head every time he does it. Like, not the way to get clients, right? That's not how you get clients, especially as a ghostwriter. That's not it. He put invite links yesterday when he was bugging Ashley. Hire me to teach you how to market. I mean, Seisha, doesn't this sound... It's not the same guy, but doesn't it sound familiar? We've dealt with this before, but it's not the same guy. This is another guy. Some people teach their groups to invade other people's audiences and be aggressive until they boot them out. And see, I tend to boot when it gets disruptive. Because I don't want to pretend, even for a second, that the people in my Discord group can't go hire someone else to either as a writer or as an editor or as a ghostwriter or marketing or whatever. Like, I can't pretend that I'm the only one and or that I'm even the best one and that they should only hire me. First off, I would never be able to keep up. There's like 300 people in there. I can't edit 300 books, like, even if I wanted to. Like, no. And some of them are writing books in genres I don't understand fully. So why would I be like, no, you're in my group, you can't hire anyone else? Like, no. So I don't mind other editors or ghostwriters being in my group, but I want them to be a part of the community if they're going to be in there. I don't want them just in there trying to, like, bug everyone into hiring them. It does sound familiar, right? Right. I was telling Alex, and Alex was like, yeah. I thought it was that guy, and that is why I brought him up to Naomi. Yeah, different guy. It's always a guy that does it this way, too, for the ghostwriters. It's never the female or even the trans, either trans male or trans female ghostwriters. It's always the cisgender males. Your groups encourage us to report them. Okay. testosterone. He obviously doesn't provide a good service because work would find him if he were that great. I mean, now, technically, he could just be new. He could be amazing, but no one's ever going to know because he's too aggressive and he's marketing in the wrong spots. Like, going into a group of writers and saying, hey, I'm a ghostwriter, you should hire me to write your book, is kind of like going into Zales Diamonds, being like, I sell K, do you want some? Like, no, they're trying to write their books. They're in the group because they want to write their books. They don't look for ghostwriters in a writing group, they just don't. Oh, to be a white mediocre. Seisha. Seisha, but also, yeah. Why didn't that print? I'll bet you I'm out of like magenta ink or something. Some BS. You can't print in black and white because you're out of yellow. And yeah, not all, but still, yep. He's written 10 books. Ooh. It's always the magenta. I'm always out of magenta. Like, I don't know what I'm printing, but it's always the magenta that runs out. I was always taught, who goes to Target and yells, go to Trader Joe's, right? Right. Okay, no, see, I was picking you up so I could put you down. Come here. Okay, everyone say hello to the floof. This is the clingy floof. And she's mad that I'm about to go to the printer. Void floof is at my feet. Who do you say? Paper jam. There's no paper jam. You're lying. Turn off the printer and try again. Okay. One or more of your... No. Did you all see what she did? Ugh, void floof. Void fluff totally stole the chair. And now she's hugging my arm. She's like, no, I don't want to let you go. You don't want to put me down. Ugh, okay, can you let go? And she's like claw hugging me too with her finger teeth. You can't. There we go. Thank you. Okay. Go play. Don't hunt the other cat. Okay? I don't understand these two cats, by the way. When I picked them up from the shelter, I picked these two specifically because they were cuddled up together. Like, you had all these other kittens who were like all just playing around, and these two were all cuddled up together. 3 times I went to the shelter. All 3 times, these two were like cuddled up together, and I was like, okay, these two, I don't know if they're same litter. I don't think so. But they're definitely like, they're pals. They're buddies. They get along. I'm taking these two. Got those 2. And now, and they did sleep together. They shared my lap together. And then as soon as they got too big for my lap to be there at the same time, now all they do is fight. I believe he's new to at least ghostwriting, providing services. Next time he brings it up, I might try to help him out. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he got some bad marketing advice. Like, it sounds like he started off, new to business and going, hey, I can be a ghostwriter. How do I find clients? And there's so much bad advice, so many bad articles that like focus on things like go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, and then ask your friends. And it's like, it's not horrible advice, but it's also not good advice. And then you try to like fill in the blanks with what you can, and you just end up not really. We took the girls to the groomers, and they are so floofy soft. Getting nothing done. Aw. Are those TARDISes? They are TARDISes. And I got Daleks. And what else is on here? TARDIS, Daleks. Yep, that's it. I thought there were Cybermen in here too, but nope. TARDIS and Daleks. The fear has set in for me, Naomi. Like, what if I have no good ideas? You have good ideas. There's no such thing as a bad idea. I haven't started because I have that throat closing fear, which has led to inaction. There's no such thing as a bad book idea. None. There's no such thing. They're all good. The thing is when you start writing a book, that's all anyone has. We have a vague idea, except for Alex. Alex, plug your ears for a minute because you're about to get more ideas. But we always have an idea for a character, for example. And then we sit down to write this character and we go, what do we make them do? What are they getting into? Like, we have this great idea for a person, and we might even have a great idea for, like, wouldn't it be weird if like a Vulcan went through a traumatic experience? Like, how would they even react, being that they suppress their emotions, right? And then we start with that. It's very high concept. That's not a book idea, right? That's not a plot. That's just a character with a random scenario thrown at them that you're like, I wonder what would happen if this happened. I don't know. You don't know until the book is done how well you can flesh anything out. And even then, even if the book is done and you go, wow, this is crap, that's what editing is for. So like, there is no such thing as a bad book idea. There is just like fleshed out or not fleshed out. Your sweater is so pretty. Thank you. He's in this morning. I will, right after the live. You need to gain weight. More weight equals bigger lap. You obviously don't really love your cats, right? No, I just got 2 new ones yesterday. I tried to warn you. That makes sense. Thank you. Throat is open again. Good. Breathe. Light bulb moment. Yay! And, oh, Natalie, hang on. Where? Ha. These 2 books. These are my thwackers. I'm pulling out the thwackers. Okay, once upon a time, I used to use Sharknado as this example, but then these came out. And now these are my thwackers. So, if you had told me, this is how I know there's no such thing as a bad book idea. If you had told me these came out in, when was this? The summer of 2020, right? I'm almost positive it was the summer of 2020. I guess it could have been 2021. Nah, they don't. Like, these books were so self-published that they didn't even put a copyright page in them. Like, there's nothing. And I don't mean that as a slight. Y'all know that I do self-publishing. I love self-publishing. It is my preferred way of publishing. But like this person literally sat down and threw together her story and did not like go, oh, let me put together front matter, back matter, and like make it a book. Like, she literally threw a cover on her story. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that the first one came out in the summer of 2020, and then the second one came out like early winter 2021 maybe. But anyway, it was a few months later. But anyway, if this person had come to me in like the spring of 2020 and said, "Hi, I want to write a book where a doctor is trying to find the cure or vaccine for the coronavirus, but instead she falls in love with the virus. What do you think? Good idea about it." I would have been like, no. Like, have you fall? I would have probably asked her if she fell on her head. Honestly, I would have been like, did you fall on your head? Now you want to publish that? You what? Not only is it just a bad concept for a story, why would you do it in the height of a pandemic? Like, So anyway, she did not ask me. I have no idea who this person is. I have never read her works. I have never met her. I've never talked to her. I have no idea. But all of a sudden, in like August of 2020 or whatever it was, people started talking about this book, Kissing the Coronavirus. I still have not read it. It had hundreds of reviews. Hundreds. And then a few months later, this one, Kissing the Coronavirus 2, the second wave, also had hundreds of reviews. And I went, no, that can't be real. What? And I went onto Amazon to look, and sure enough, there they both were. And like the covers, the back covers, "Why did you make me read this? MJ Edwards' 82-year-old mom, Dorothy." An electrifying debut by MJ Edwards' son, Richard. The best thing I have ever read. A nice reviewer on Amazon. So now these are my thwackers, so I can thwack people and say, your idea is a good idea and it will find a market. Because if she was able to find a market, you can find a market, no matter how obscure your idea might feel. If you haven't seen Naomi's post about her book, it's so inspiring. Oh, yay! There are 4 of these now? Okay, well, I'm not buying the other 2. I'm not, okay? I bought these 2, and I already feel like weird having them, except that they're my thwackers. I haven't even read them. I have no interest in the story at all. Like I said, I used to use Sharknado for that. If I had been in the pitch room when someone said, "Hey, let's write a story about a tornado with sharks in it," I would have been like, no, that is the dumbest thing I've ever, and yet they have like 4 or 5 movies about it, or 6, or whatever they're up to now. Like, and it's like this whole cult following, and it's like, your story has a market. Your job as the author is to understand that market and get in front of them. But your story has a market. She exclaimed my name. If you haven't seen Naomi's post, my post. Yes, that's what I wanted to print. I wanted to print the post so I could read the review out loud. Because I am so stoked. So, I didn't tell anyone that I was entering. Because, when you start telling people that you're entering any kind of a competition, you get really excited, and then you start thinking about, oh my God, what if I win? And then, your hopes go sky high, and then if you don't win, you cry. Well, it does not have a paper jam. See, I can hear it. Anyway, so I think it's because my cat keeps laying on my printer. Insert a sheet of paper. It's in there. Now it's got a line. Mona! No. It's not a toy. Anyway, so when my book first came out, I am going to get this printed because I can't remember what the words say. So I really do need it printed. But when my book came out, I entered it. I was so proud of it. I was like, this is so, I honestly, not to be like braggy about it, but I was like, this is so good. I love this so much that I decided to enter it into the Writer's Digest competition for Best Nonfiction Book of 2023. And I didn't win. I found out yesterday I didn't win. But the reviewer, the judge who reviewed my book, they said such nice things that I can't print. It's trying to do the alignment page right now, and my cat's like batting at the paper. Anyway, says, congratulations on writing and publishing your book. The market for how to write a book is a crowded one, and you have a unique way to approach this well-trodden topic. Fear and self-doubt are surely two of the biggest stumbling blocks preventing people from starting or completing their first book, and you blend your knowledge of psychology and writing very effectively. The traumatic story you tell at the beginning of the introduction is challenging to read, but it immediately establishes a rapport and trust between you and your reader and creates a sense of importance and urgency to telling one story. You do a great job of demystifying the writing process and showing where the potential minefields are and how to navigate them. The section Write and Never Look Back is particularly helpful for new writers, and I appreciated your inclusion of writing with ADHD here. Overall, you've done a great job. Anyway, like, it is such, I couldn't have asked for a better review from a competition. I mean, short of winning, but I couldn't have asked for a better review, right? Like, I was like floored. I've been on cloud 9 since I received that email. It feels so much better now, and now need to read those books just out of curiosity. Book 4 is Coronavirus versus Monkey. No! That's like Kayla and Tanya saying they DNF'd Legends and Ladders. I said, okay, challenge accepted, and you loved it. COVID clauses. Oh, God. I think we... Why are you looking at this? Alex. I don't know, Alex. Is there a box set? It was such a great review. It was. Kissing the Coronavirus Chronicles. Like, she's turned it into a whole thing. She gets pregnant. See? You will find your market. I promise you. And if you ever start to doubt and you ever, like, you're reading your book or you're, like, still writing your book or whatever, and you start doubting yourself and you start going, I don't think anyone's going to like this. Go look up this series, okay? Or go look up Sharknado, or go any book where you're like, that was a really, like, just the dumbest thing. I can't believe they did that. And go look. They have reviews. They have, it might be a small cult following, but they have a following. They have a market. There are people buying the books. She gets pregnant. Oh my God. My cat is really freaked out right now. I know there, don't even tell me there's a paper jam because it just printed out the alignment page. I'm pretty sure I just need a new printer too. This printer is like 10 years old or whatever. 4.7 stars and 26 reviews for the Chronicles. Flabbergasted. But that's proof. That's proof that there's no such thing as a bad idea. It's just how well can you follow through with it and flesh it out. was a good laugh, Fox News. No. Fox News actually reviewed that book. Tell me why you prefer self-publishing. All right, so when it comes down to the question between, or the choice between traditional publishing and self-publishing, there's a few different things, right? There's a whole bunch of advantages and disadvantages to both. And it comes down to a couple of things, including speed. If you're self-publishing, you get to control everything. You get to control the release schedule. You get to control the launch. If you need money, you can send your email list a notice and you get paid within 30 days, right? So the time at which you get paid for your books is a lot faster. The royalties are higher because you're not splitting them with a publisher. But basically, like, speed is one of the big ones. Control is one of the big ones. Inside the book, so in the book itself, if you traditionally publish a book, so let's say I grabbed this manuscript and I sent it out to, I don't know, Hay House or whatever. Technically speaking, what I would be doing and what they would be doing would be they are purchasing the rights to use my book. So I would still own the copyright of the material, of the words, the content, but they are purchasing those rights to be able to publish and distribute it, right? However, they own the real estate. They own the pages. So in self-publishing, especially for me and especially for nonfiction, I love putting these things in. So when you get your copy of the book, the ebook has links. But in the print book, I like, instead of using links that says, go here to download this tracker, which would be fine, but let's face it, if you're reading a book, are you really going to get up, go to your computer and like type in a URL? Probably not. But might you pull out a phone and scan something? Yes. I can't do this in a traditional publishing house. They don't do this. Some of the smaller presses are starting to, but for the most part, they don't do this, which is why you don't see it very often, except in self-publishing. And they're everywhere. They're all the way through this. Like, it's every chapter has 3 or 4 different places where I say, scan the QR code to grab this worksheet. Grab the QR code to scan the QR code to grab this tracker, or this worksheet, or this workbook, or whatever. Here's an author persona worksheet I've put together. Scan the QR code, right? It's all through here. Because as a self-publisher, I own the content, the copyright, but I also own the real estate and the pages. And a lot of authors, you get to the end and it'll say something along the lines of like, about the author, blah, blah, blah. This is all the great stuff I've done. Go here to sign up for their newsletter. But that has like a 0.002% conversion rate. Like almost nobody ever says, oh, okay, let me whip out my phone or sit down at a computer, grab my laptop and type that in. And I just, here's a QR code. Go to Amazon and leave me a review, please. I use the real estate to make it easier for people to get the tools that they need to go through the book, as well as leave me a review. You can do it with fiction as well. You're just going to have to move things around. You don't want to interrupt your chapter to be like, scan here to grab their character profile, because then you look weird. And it'll yank everyone right out of the book, out of the story, and it'll ruin everyone's reading experience, right? But I like that. And your marketing, you have access to how effective your marketing is. So in traditional publishing, everything is slower, everything. After you have signed with an agent, it can still be 2 years before your book actually hits bookshelves anywhere. It's just slower. There's a lot of other things to coordinate around your book, and it's because they're playing a very different game than you are. This is your baby. This is another book for them. Like Penguin Random House publishes close to 75,000 books a year. Like, if they sign you, you're one of those 75,000. Yay! But that means being very meticulous about where they can fit your book and whatnot. And so it can take 2 years to just get through the editing process and the book design process and the formatting process to get out there. On top of it, payments are also slower. So you probably heard Amazon has this issue, right, where they pay you within 30 days. But then if someone had refunded that book for one reason or another, honestly or not, whatever it is, if they refund the book, though, they charge you for it, right? Because they paid you too dang fast. In traditional publishing, they reconcile all of the sales. So if you sell a book in January, you probably won't get the royalties for that book until June or even the next January. Like, it can be anywhere from 6 to 18 months later that you get paid. So there is no, oh, refund us because we had to refund the reader, because they just don't pay you for that refund. It just takes that much longer. But then also your marketing, because you don't have access to the analytics, you don't know if your marketing is working or not. So if you sell a book in January, then you won't know the sales numbers for at least 6 to 18 months, at least, which means then you're going, my sales went down. What did I do 6 months ago that caused my sales to go down? And then you got to try to fix it, right? And then you start putting together other things, and then you're going, okay, now I got to wait 6 months to see if this worked. You don't know. But as any digital marketer, Natalie knows, if you're watching your analytics, if you have your own website, so on and so forth, then oh, my sales went down. Wow, that campaign did not work. Okay, tweak it this way, tweak it that way, try again, and you get information much more quickly. You can pivot much more quickly and adjust your marketing and watch the sales go up without so much guessing. And finally, social media. Like, in my opinion, there is a reason why so many social media channels right now. It used to be you could just have shoppable posts on Instagram, for example. Like, that was the only one that you could have a shoppable post on, and it required a Shopify store. And there was no way, without spending a lot of money, to put together your Shopify store so that included your books from other places, right? Like from Penguin Random House or from a bookstore or whatever. Like, there was really no way. So in order to sell something from, like, if you got traditionally published on Instagram, it's still to this day, and you go, oh, go buy my book, link in bio, right? And then that link takes like to a link tree or something that has like, buy it on Amazon, buy it on Barnes and Noble, buy it from Target, buy it from Walmart, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, whatever, right? All the different listings. Yay, great, but the conversion is much, much lower versus, hey, tap this video and you can just grab my book, right? And Instagram, when they introduced shoppable posts, they increased conversions by like 35%. Like, sales went up huge on that platform. So then Facebook started doing it. Obviously, Facebook owns Instagram, but, Facebook also copies everyone. And then TikTok started doing it. Pinterest started doing it. Twitter tried to do it, but then, like, this billionaire came in and just was like, hey, let me destroy this platform. But I was invited to Twitter shops, and I was mid-process of setting up my shop and putting my book there when that whole debacle started going down. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I trust this platform to have my payment information. I'm just going to wait. But there's a reason why people are buying through social media, and you still can't get there from the traditional publishing. So it comes down to, your choice comes down to speed and what kind of career or how you want your career as an author to look. Because all of the things that I talked about was all about like control over the business, the payment, the schedules, etc. That is an entrepreneur type of experience versus I just want to write and market my books and that's it. I want editors to do the editing. I want publishers to do the publishing. I want, like, let the pros handle everything else. I just want to market and, write my books and market myself on social media, and that's it. That's all I want to do. I don't want to worry about the sales or the websites or the cover design or anything else. In which case, go traditional, because then you don't have to worry about anything else. Good morning, Sabrina. Okay, let me catch. I was like rambling and then I lost track of the comments. So, how are you, Sabrina? I'm not sure if I've heard you go into that yet. Certainly attention grabbing, Daily Mail. Your northern left your cold here in the desert. I'm so sorry. They're all on KU. I didn't realize that the workbook and those pages were the same thing until I clicked them. Yeah, so what I do, and I always do this, okay, I always say have more than one thing in your book. I tell all of my clients, we're going to have one companion workbook, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of other stuff, because this is what happens. People get to the front, and I'm going to use my book as an example. They get to the front and they say, hey, oh no, that's not the companion book. This is just here's how this works. And so it says, you'll notice some of these pages in this book showcase a QR code like this one. These codes are here so you can access different worksheets or other tools that I describe in this book and use them to help you write your own book. To scan any of these codes, grab your smartphone and open up the camera app, then focus the camera on the image above the Scan Me caption. Your camera app will prompt you to go to the page where you can download a copy of that tool. Please note, the very first QR code I've included is to the companion workbook, which includes all the rest of the tools. So if you download that first one, you don't need to download the rest of these tools. On the other hand, if you don't want the whole workbook and would just like to check out one or two specific tool instead, you can skip that first one and grab the ones you really want. So I did tell you, Connie. I did tell you. But so what ends up happening is people get to, where is it? As people are coming in, it says, like, grab the workbook, scan me. A lot of people skip that. They go, oh, I don't need the workbook. I just want to read the book, because that's what they want to do. They just want to read the book. So they come in and they start reading. They get to the introduction and they start reading. And then they get to that first code, which is, I'm going to use each chapter to dig into a common fear stopping you from writing your book, and I'm going to give you the tool you need to work through that fear every time it comes up, starting with this workbook. And the very first workbook is a how to identify your fears workbook. Well, if someone doesn't want that, and sometimes they don't, they're like, okay, I don't need that workbook. I know what my fears are, and or I'm not actually scared of anything, so I don't need that. And then they keep reading and they go, if you need help planning out your author persona, you can start by filling out the author persona worksheet I've put together by scanning the QR code below. Oh, I might need the QR code. Now, from a marketer's point of view, Amazon is not going to share, none of the bookstores are going to share the customer data with me, right? They don't have to. None of them are going to share it. I want my readers to get onto my email list so that I can talk to them and say, hey, you bought my book, right? How about going to leave me a review? Or, I have another book coming out. Maybe you'd be interested, or whatever the case may be. I want them on my email list. But Amazon isn't going to say, hey, here are all the people who bought your book. Now you can go email them. That's their data. So you want as many natural places in your book to get people onto your newsletter. Because like I said, having a little blurb at the end that says about the author, blah, 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 did all this great stuff, go here to subscribe to their newsletter, that almost never works. But now if you're going through your book, even if they skip chapter 1 because they don't want it, but then they hit chapter 2 and they're like, oh yeah, I do want this. And it works for fiction too. You just have to, like I said, you have to be a little bit more creative with how you place them and what you're offering. But fiction, you might do character profiles, you might do star charts if it's in space, you might do like maps if it's a fantasy world. It doesn't even have to be fantasy world. Let's say it's urban legend. Let's say you were urban legends. Let's say it's urban fantasy, right? Or urban whatever, pick one. Urban romance. I don't know. I don't know the layout of Seattle. I would probably enjoy a book that like had a map of Seattle with the major, like where major plot points were positioned. Like it didn't even have to be a really detailed map, but I would probably appreciate better being able to be like, okay, so they ran from there to there and that's where the taxi picked them up. Okay, just for example. Too much of a control freak. I don't want to do the marketing. I want to do the writing and cover design. Trad or indie still have to market. Yes. I want a PR manager and marketing team. Well, there you go. But my brain decided it wasn't going to pay much attention there. A friend of mine buys cover designs. Is that fairly normal? Yes. So there's 3 really great ways to get a cover design. 1, hire a cover designer. Okay, got you. Hey, there you go. Done. That's going to cost you anywhere from between like $350 to maybe $600. Maybe a little bit more now because prices for everything are going up, but it's going to, let's call it an average $500 for a cover designer. And for that $500, they're going to give you a couple of designs. They're going to give you the front cover design, which is for your ebook. But then they're also going to give you like the full design, because this design for paperback and hardback is one image that all goes together, the spine and the back. It's all like wrapped around. It's one image wrapped around. So they'll give you that formatted for you. You have to tell them your trim size. You have to tell them like how many pages so they can measure out the spine and so on and so forth. But they give you that. So there's that. Hire the professional. There you go. The next thing you can do is you can purchase pre-mades. Now, I'm going to be honest. I personally have started leaning away from the pre-mades a little bit and going to purchasing Canva templates, but it's still workable. Pre-mades range anywhere from like $75 to like maybe $200 or $300. And what these are is an artist just gets inspired and they start creating all this art and then they put it up on a digital shop. Now, how many copies they sell of each one, I don't know. That varies from artist to artist, but these are like, they got inspired by something else rather than being inspired by a specific story. They get inspired just in general. I want to create romance art, and they put together a bunch of romance book covers that could work for romance. And then you come along and you say, I want this. And then they customize it. They put your title and your author name, and they might have to tweak it a little bit depending on how long your title is or whatever, but the design itself stays intact. Some of these artists will just sell one and that's it. And some of these artists will sell like 3 or 4 of the same, and then that's it. It's usually semi-exclusive, but not 100% exclusive. And so there's that. That works. On what I did, and I did not do it for this book, but I have done it for other books, is I look for Canva book cover templates, and I start with those as just as a starting point. Do not go into Canva and say you want a book cover and just grab the book cover template from Canva, switch out the title and publish. Don't do that. First off, most of their book covers are not that great. But also it's against their terms of service. So don't do that. But I go and I'll buy Canva templates, like from a book cover, and then I will obviously open it up in Canva and I will tweak the heck out of it, right? I use it as a jumping off point, go from there. I am not an artist. So my book covers also do not contain a lot of art. The paper texture, because this is just old paper I was looking for, I got that from Creative Fabrica. I am not an artist. And then underneath it, I've got like a super dark gray, and I put a blur under there. My barcode, my photo of who I was at the time I published, and I put words. I am not an artist, and I also really like semi-minimal things on my book covers. I don't like a lot of stuff, but it's different. This is nonfiction, right? If I were doing fiction, it would be different. And in fact, on my fiction book that I am working on, it's going to be very different. But anyway, I just start with a template and tweak the heck out of it, changing everything, but I just wanted the inspiration. Or if you are an artist, yay, go draw. Go draw. Go be an artist then and actually design. You can probably find, I'm pretty sure Udemy, might be saying that wrong, but has a course on book cover design. And all you really need to know are the strategies. If you're already an artist, you just need to know why are certain choices made and what are certain expectations, and then that's it. You can go to town doing everything else, right? In my Edmonton book, I have a map of Edmonton. Nice. I'm trying to get a map app to make Twin Cities. Nice. I know it's a ways away, but how would I publish special edition books? I want to add bonus chapters, make that book into special edition, and the standard won't have it, but how do you do it? You just post it as a special edition. When you go in to publish your book, it's more than likely, and what I would do, Sabrina, the way that I would do it is, if you're using KDP, if you're not using KDP, this is going to be a little bit different. But if you go into KDP, and when you have the book there, there's create a paperback, link an existing paperback, create a hardcover, link an existing hardcover. I would, for your normal edition paperback, special edition hardcover, that's one way to do it. The other thing you can do too is, if you just create a whole new one, there's an option in there. I don't want to create, hold on. Live, here we go. Continue setup. There's an option in here, book title, subtitle, add series details, edition number. So you can just say, that's edition 3, edition 4, or whatever. It is optional. An edition is a particular version of a book. The edition number tells readers whether the book is an original version or an updated version. If this is the first time you've published this book, enter the numeral 1. If the book was previously published and the version you are publishing contains significant changes, enter the numeral 2, and so on. Oh, it's just numerals, though. I don't think you can actually do special. Can you do special? Yeah, well, it let me type it in. It didn't give me an error, so maybe you can. But anyway, there's you can just publish it as a new book and just call it limited edition. Another thing that you can do, if you wanted to, would be you use KDP for everything. of your normal book, but then use Ingram Spark or Lulu and sell on, actually probably Lulu, I love Lulu, but sell it the deluxe edition, kind of like my autographed ones, are only through my website. You can't get an autographed book through Amazon, but you can buy the autographed one through my website. The pre-mades are what I saw for $75, exclusive to one person, which I thought was pretty awesome. That is awesome. The only thing, and the reason why they're cheaper isn't because the art is cheaper, because it's not. Obviously, they're putting in the same amount of work, whether they make it first as a pre-made or make it custom as like a commission order. The difference is commission order, you get the license for the things. Okay, so if they use a stock image, for example, then they have the license and they give you the license for that stock image for that book cover. Make sure you're reading, because in a pre-made, they get the license. I don't know if they transfer it, which means they usually use like stock images and stuff. You might see the same stock image on another book, even though it's a different book cover, it's a different design, but it might have some of the same or similar elements. And so you want to make sure of the license and ask them, like, do I have license to sell this, or is some photographer going to come after me? Probably fine. It's probably fine. 90% of those people are super honest, and they are, yep, here's the license. The other 10%, more than likely, are more on the I don't know side, not the actual shady, scammy, side. But still, just to be safe, make sure you have license to use whatever stock footage they put in your cover. I've seen a lot of people talking about Creative Fabrica lately. Creative Fabrica is awesome. That's why. Okay, so I've been a member of Creative Fabrica for a while. And they are, first off, right off the bat, their licensing is super clear. Right after, I mean, it's like, whereas Canva, you're going, but does this count as an end product for a user? Does this count as an end product for a client? Like, you're going, but does this count? And Creative Fabrica is like, look, you can use this for KDP, okay? And Canva is like, you can use this for some print-on-demand services. Well, that could mean Printful and t-shirts, or that could mean Lulu and books. Like, can I, does that count for Amazon? Because that's KDP's print-on-demand. Like, and then you're left going, I think this counts. Whereas Creative Fabrica is just super clear. But the other thing that Creative Fabrica does, and this is how I got sucked in. The other thing that they do is when you go to when you go to their website, so don't do this until you have several $100s. But when you go to their website, they'll say like, hey, you can get like, I don't know, 30% off or whatever. Like, sign up for a newsletter and get 30% off. And you go, oh yeah, okay. And you sign up. And then the tripwire, which is the offer that they immediately follow up with after you make their purchase, says, hey, what if you got your second year? If you paid for it right now, you can get your second year for just $30. You're like, yeah. And then they do it again. And then they do it again. And so I ended up paying for like 7 years worth of stuff. For like $350, which is a great deal because you save so much money over time. But yeah, it adds up really quickly. It's really good. Udemy. Okay. I was always saying it as Udemy for some reason. And then I heard someone else say Udemy, and I was like, that sounds weird, but okay. That's the Southern. Like, elements of the design could be on something else. Makes sense. Yes. Could be. Oh my God, it's already 10. I think I pay $59 every single year. And that's just under $5 a month. Yeah, it's not expensive to start with. It's really great service. They have a huge catalog of things. They saved my butt. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but earlier this year, like sometime in the summer, I was accused of copyright infringement, which I have never done in my life knowingly. And I'm always like constantly telling everyone who will listen to me, like, watch for the licensing, make sure you have permission, don't use someone else's work. I don't even like advocate using AI for art because of the stolen implications there. Like, I'm super careful about the advice I give when it comes to things like when it comes to things like copyright potential and trademarks and all of that, right? So I got accused of copyright infringement, and I was like, there's no way. What? And what had happened was, there was a photographer who posted his images on like some of those free sites like Unsplash, Pixabay, Pexels, right? And at the time that I was publishing blog posts, at the time that this one came out, I was using Unsplash almost exclusively. I think I got a couple from Pixabay. I have my tracker, but like I was using everything from Unsplash almost exclusively. And this photographer hired this copyright advocacy agency, not a lawyer, copyright advocacy agency. And they said, hey, your photographs are on too many different sites. You need to consolidate and put them all behind a paywall. So he did. He took down all of his photographs from Unsplash and Pexels and Pixabay and Dreamstime and everywhere else where they were. And he put them all behind sites like iStock Images and Getty Images and Creative Fabrica. So interesting, right? Anyway, so then the copyright advocacy agency said to me, you don't have permission for that image. So I went to Unsplash knowing that that's where I got it from. And Unsplash said they removed all of their images from us. And I went, what does that mean? Because I got it from here. But Unsplash also does not maintain a download history. So then I did a reverse search. I grabbed, Google's image search, and I grabbed that image and I shot it up, and Google found it in Creative Fabrica. And I'm like, you are kidding me. So I log into my Creative Fabrica account and I grab my license and I send it to them and I say, BS, like I know I have permission to use this photo. Thank gods. I will never use or even recommend one of those free sites ever again. Like, only use a site for images that maintain a download history so that you can go and prove the license at the time. Because at the time, the advice that I had been given was, when you download from one of the free sites, track it and keep a screenshot of the license so that you can prove it should anyone ever come after you. So I was tracking all the things, but I didn't have any of the screenshots anymore, but I was tracking all the things. Thank goodness, because they wanted like $3,000 for the time that the image had already been up on the web. And then they offered me, the offer of, if you would like to continue using it, you can pay us $1,000 a year. So I proved I had the right to use it, and then I took it right down because I'm not going to support that kind of an artist. But yeah. Creative Fabrica saved my butt there. The fonts are worth the price alone. They have some amazing fonts there. They do. Yes, Jessica, yes. Start tracking everything because you cannot trust anything. The other thing I do, so I pay for Creative Fabrica. I pay for a membership there. And then the other place where I get stock images from is Deposit Photos, but I don't pay for a membership there. What I do is I stalk AppSumo, and like at least once, but sometimes 2 or 3 times in a year, Deposit Photos releases something through AppSumo that's like $39 for 100 images. And I just buy a new license every single time. I currently have something like 600 image credits. They never expire. So I just log into Deposit Photos whenever I need a new stock photo. I just log into Deposit Photos and grab one using my free credits. AppSumo, you don't say. I stalk AppSumo. But both Creative Fabrica and Deposit Photos, those are 2 that I use. I know they keep not just a payment and membership history, but they keep a download history. So I can go in at any point in time and show when I downloaded whatever it was. Shutterstock probably also does. Yeah. And I'm sure some of the other ones, iStock and Getty Images, if they are a paid service, I'm positive that they have some kind of a download history. I hate when others have the ones that expire even if you paid for them. Yeah, those annoy me. But this one, you do have to redeem the codes right away, which I do. I just go add them to my account. But the credits themselves don't expire. So, and I still get paranoid every once in a while. And I go, oh my God, how many images? Like, and I go and I look and I'm like, oh, does not expire. Oh, okay, I'm good. Like you get that heat that comes up from anxiety, like when you're sleeping and you're like, and like your whole body just like it's in an oven. Yeah. All right, I really have to run. I have so many things to do today. Y'all, that would be you too. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm so glad that I was able to give Erica a light bulb. Yay. I mean, I love when I'm answering questions. So this always means the world to me. Y'all have an amazing day. Okay. And I will talk to you. I won't be here tomorrow because kiddo has a doctor's appointment, but I will be back on Thursday. Okay. Bye.